Okay, sweet.
All right.
Now
I'm recording now.
Okay, me too. Nice. Here we
All
are.
right.
Okay, this is episode 1 of our podcast, and we're going to just start off by sharing a little bit about why we're starting a podcast. I suppose I feel like that's a good place to start.
All right.
So why do you want to start the Train5 4Life podcast? Tell us what it's all about.
Well, I think the biggest thing is that I mostly enjoy meaningful conversations about things I'm interested in. Pretty much 90% of what I'm interested in is health, wellness. And so, I mean, what better way than to have conversations every week about those topics? And so that's why we're getting started with a podcast, just to have great, meaningful conversations.
There's no better time when we're all in quarantine to start a podcast to get some connection going.
Yeah, I think so. It's better than watching Netflix and all those other things. Well, we'll see if it's better.
That's true. Yeah, that's true. For the people that have already burned through all of Netflix, this is what comes next.
This is next. Yeah.
Okay, so maybe tell our listeners who you are, a little bit about you, what your background is, and then I'll do the same and we can kind of go from there.
Sure. Well, I think first off, just over the evolution of my learning, I think, as I mentioned, that 90% of what I'm interested in is health. I find it hard. I'd be hard pressed to find what the other 10% is about, but just leaving a little space there just in case I can think of something else. And so, my mission is just to inspire people to create a few simple lifestyle habits that enable them to own their health and happiness, to feel better than ever, get the most out of life. And I've been working on this stuff for the last 20 plus years. And I'm just excited to share what I've learned. So made a ton of mistakes, working on new things now, recognize that it continues to evolve and we always learn, grow, and change. And so that's why I'm here. I think my background is I was first and foremost, I would have called myself an athlete above anything else. It's all I cared about as a kid was just playing sports, and ended up choosing volleyball as my sport, and ended up playing post-secondary at Red Deer College and the University of Calgary for 5 years. Played on Team Canada for 3 years, played professionally in France. And at that time, going to school, I ended up getting my master's degree in coaching, in kinesiology. And then I became a coach and a kinesiology instructor. And it was there where I started to pay more attention to this stuff and just what it takes to be healthy and happy. And so I think I'm going on 22 years coaching volleyball at the college level, and lots of ups and downs and lots of things I've learned, but that's taken me to here. And so the course that I taught most was fitness, nutrition, and wellness. Really developed a passion for that, and so in my spare time, that's what I spend my time on, learning about anything to do with fitness, with nutrition, with connections, anything to do with wellness. That's what I'm interested in, and not just interested in learning it, but trying to apply it and trying to get better at it. But I think the other things I'm really interested in too are mindfulness, how we deal with stress, how we learn, what are optimal learning environments, how the brain works, quality relationships, philosophy, what we value, leadership, effective communication, how we create habits, what drives us. so all those things to me are part of wellness, and that's just what I spend my time on. So that's where we're at, and I would like to hear what your background is, and how you've come to where you are with your fitness, your wellness, your happiness.
Okay, so for people that don't know me, I am from a really small town in Saskatchewan. My background and kind of journey to wellness and the holistic approach that you were talking about is also through sport, through volleyball. So I played volleyball at Medicine Hat College, where you were my coach for all 5 years that I was there. And that's really where kind of my wellness journey began, I would say. I can't remember if I took that course, or if it was just I was learning those things from you kind of through osmosis and through your coaching of the team. But that's definitely where I started getting interested in fitness and nutrition. I don't think I had ever really been in a gym before going to college. Never done any like resistance training or thought much about what I was eating until then. And so that's what kind of piqued my interest a few years into playing in Medicine Hat. I took my business degree there and kind of realized midway through that it wasn't all that interesting to me, but I finished it out. I, after college, went to play a year of pro in France. And when I was there, basically spent all my time reading about nutrition, going into, small health food stores and pharmacies and just like reading labels, asking people questions. Spent literally all my time outside of training learning about how to optimize my own performance and my health. So that was a really cool experience for me, and kind of when I first started realizing that I was probably going to be transitioning into this more as a career path as well. So when I got back from France, I started working at CIBC's investment firm, moved to Edmonton, moved a block away from the Garneau beach courts, and played every single day for about a year, I guess, and then moved out to Toronto to join the beach team. So I've been with the beach national team since 2014. And the last couple of years been an independent athlete, just meaning I can create my own training environment. Been playing a little bit more in Calgary now that there's a beach center out there. So that's been really exciting. A few years ago, I took my holistic nutrition diploma. So I'm a registered holistic nutritionist now, as well as a cognitive behavioral therapy coach, because I'm starting to recognize and realize throughout this whole journey that everything is more interconnected than we even realize, as far as the importance and the quality of your relationships with regards to your cortisol levels, and how that affects your cravings and your sleep and everything else. And so the mindfulness component is something that people are starting to talk more about, but it's something that I'm really interested in as far as the holistic picture of wellness. And that kind of is where I'm at now, still just learning as much as I can. That's why I'm really excited for this podcast, actually, because we talk all the time, but I'm excited to kind of pick your brain a bit more about and take a deeper dive, I guess, into some of the nutrition things that I haven't experimented with, because you've done more self-experimentation with regards to all these things than I have. But yeah, that's my background.
Right on.
And I guess that's also how we're connected.
Yeah, no, I think there's lots of stories in there. Questions that I'll have for sure as I go. We've probably known each other. When was your first year? 2007?
Yep.
Is that when you came? So 13 years. I'd say our relationship was slightly different back then than it is now. Probably quite different. And and I think that's exciting and cool to see too. I'm excited to learn from you, because I think you've had more, I don't know what the right word is, formal education, or you've taken some more courses and then built on those. And a lot of what I've done is just my own learning, like reading a ton of books and trying things out and listening to podcasts and then just trying to find opportunities to teach the things, to share the things, because I find that I learn it better when I do that, to get good conversations going about that. And so, I mean, I think it's going to be a good forum for us to learn a lot, and to hopefully change some ideas and some views, and to give listeners some tools that they can use going forward, and some ideas about how to improve their health and happiness. So yeah, really excited.
Okay, and so then do we want to go into maybe what Train5 for Life is in this first one, so that people can decide if these 5 pillars are things that they're interested in?
Well,
Which, I mean,
I hope people are
certainly people will be interested in
like,
in 1 or 2 of the 5 for sure, but getting to understand that all 5 are essential is where we want to get people to. So
that's right. I mean, I think people will enjoy learning about things that are so important to their health and wellness. And so, yeah, I mean, I think we'll dive deeper into that in the second episode, but just giving an idea of some of the things that we might share on this. And just briefly, I think going over what Train5 for Life is. I mean, basically it's just we're hoping it'll develop into something that will offer a lot of different opportunities for people to get better with their health. And so the founders are obviously you and me, and our significant others. So Jolene, my wife, and Tom, your husband. We just decided we wanted to start looking at this, and the original intent was we were going to start by we've built out a weekend retreat, and we were going to offer that the first one in May, and we're sitting on our asses at home, so that's not really going to happen right now. But I think with our backgrounds, we'll develop some courses. You and Tom are already doing some coaching in various areas in this space, and I look to be doing more of that as well. My wife Jolene's a massage therapist, but I think she also offers some great tools with regard to self-care, recovery, and she's also in the past done some healthy cooking for families and things like that. So she's excited to share some of those things as we go as well.
Yeah, I honestly can't wait for Jolene's recipe book.
Yeah.
Is very exciting for me that that she's starting to write some of her recipes down. I'm so excited for that. And yeah, Tom's a personal trainer, so he'll be able to, he's been essential for me during this time at home, because he is super creative in terms of coming up with workouts where you don't need a lot of equipment. But he also offers kind of a fresh perspective on movement, and I think that he'll bring a lot of creativity to this podcast when he comes on as well. So excited to learn from him and from Jolene, and hopefully we can get one of these retreats, even if it's a virtual retreat, maybe we can get something like that rolling sometime soon.
Yeah, no, I think those are all great opportunities for sure. And so I guess Train5 for Life is basically training 5 pillars of wellness for life, and us being current or former athletes, I think we really like the word train, like the idea of practicing every day. And I think you need to do those things to build habits. So it's not just, hey, I'm going to go train in the gym, but I'm going to practice every day, whether it's mindfulness, whether it's communicating well, being aware of the things you're doing that you're spending your time on. And so that the word train struck a chord with us, and the 5 pillars that we have are mindset, nutrition, fitness, recovery, and connection. And so I think that'll cover holistic health, and hopefully we can cram everything that's important into one of those pillars. We'll figure it out. But the important thing is that it's, I mean, everybody has their own words for those things, and I think there's lots of aspects that overlap, and so the idea that you can just do one of those things and be healthy is probably isn't accurate. And you may find that some things speak to you more than others, but there has to be some amount of balance in those things to really own your health and happiness.
Excellent. Well, maybe that's a good place to wrap up this little intro episode, and then we'll take a deeper dive into each of the pillars in episode 2 and beyond.
Sure. Sounds good. We'll see you in episode 2.
See you there.